Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, yeah, I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare. We do a live chat every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for first Monday of the month is on Thursday. So if you have any questions, any topics of discussion, rotating around homesteading, go ahead and ask that, and we'll get into it. And last week on the 13th was 4 years on YouTube. So I've been doing YouTube for 4 years, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, I see Erica's here. Welcome, Erica. Hello, babysitting grandbabies. So I'll be listening, but not talking much. Oh, I don't see anybody. Any other comments? We might be slow. Verna will probably not be on here. She's recovering from something, and so she probably won't be on. I don't know where everybody else is. um, this might be shorter than I thought, huh? Anyway, so welcome, Erica. We have our Cook With Me Live will be next Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. That is noon 30 Pacific time. And we are making pumpkin pie. So we've done this on the channel before. We've done this um, with the Cook With Me Live before, but it's right before Thanksgiving, so we might as well do that, right? Oh, Dawn's here. Just got here, but can't stay long. Uh-oh. Well, thank you for coming. Hope you're doing well. Um, you need to make pumpkin pie next week. Awesome. So, Dawn, if you join the membership, you can make it with us on Sunday. And if not, I do have a video about making it from scratch. So, there's two videos out there. One is, I should have prepped this. First step is making pumpkin glop. That is what it's called. It's just cooked pureed pumpkin. And I'll put that here. And then, let's see, pumpkin step 1. And then the other is pumpkin pie. This is a pretty old video that's on here, but it's a really good recipe. Pumpkin pie step 2. And so there's the pumpkin pie step 1, pumpkin pie step 2 on there. And oh, you make your paleo. That's good. Yeah, the recipe I have, I got online long time ago, and I make it with a different crust. I really like the crust. So yeah, it's really good. All right. Yes, Steve. Steve is here. What? Katrina beat me here? Haha. Yeah. Yeah. Steve is moderator, and I was just telling everybody I don't think Verna's going to make it tonight. She's recovering from something. So if she's not here, that's why. And she's recovering. So yeah, if you want to join the channel and do the Cook With Me Live, we do this every month. And this month we are going to do pumpkin pie. And we'll whenever we do pumpkin pie, we also do whipped cream. So if you don't know how to make whipped cream, perfect time to learn. Very easy. And yeah, Erica says I always make the custard without the crust. Perfectly acceptable. My pie recipe makes 2 pumpkin pies, and usually, if depending on the size of pie plate I use, it makes 2 pumpkin pies plus a little bit. So I usually do that. Oh, awesome! Thank you, Steve. Yep, there's the pie crust as link. And yeah, oh, Dawn uses whipped cream from coconut cream. Awesome. Yeah, so there's that we're gonna do that. But because it has to cook so long, 45 minutes to 60 minutes, which sometimes can go longer than that, we are also going to make challah, which is a Jewish bread. It's a braided saffron bread. And so if you grow saffron, if you want inspiration in order to grow saffron, this is a really, really good thing to do. Now, I'm going to a pie auction, which is a baked goods auction, um, on that Tuesday. So I am actually going to turn that from a braided bread. I'm going to see how it does with making like rolls, like a knotted roll, a braided roll. So, excuse me. I'll have to figure out the cooking time for that. It will differ, but that way we'll have time for it to rise while things are cooking and all that. And you don't have to make both, but I am. So thank you, Steve. I've been blessed. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what's going on this coming Sunday. After this, I will be posting up the ingredients, but because we're not going to make the pumpkin puree, the pumpkin glop on Sunday, that needs to be made ahead of time. It takes about 45 minutes in the oven. You basically just cut a pie pumpkin in half, gut it. Um, Put it in a dish with a little bit of water. I say like a digit of water. Put warm water in it will be better. Um, Put a little honey around the edge if it's a pie pumpkin. If it's a sweeter pumpkin, then you don't need to do that. It's just to kind of add a little bit of sweetness. Um, Put that upside down in the water and bake for about 45 minutes, basically until a fork goes through the skin, and then you can take it out, scoop it out, and puree it. So that should be done beforehand, and I'll provide that link as well in there. But yeah, we're gonna do some fun things. Um, yeah, Farmal's here. Good evening. Does anyone know anything? Yes. So Verna is having some health things, and she is recovering. I talked to her couple days ago, and she said she was doing better, but not all the way. So she is recovering. So if she's not active, that's what's happening. Is she's recovering. So she's doing okay, but good thoughts, good vibes sending her way is a very good idea. So we can all do that for Verna. That would be good. Thank you for asking. Yeah. I had a very brief conversation with her. Um, just she didn't want to be on the phone that long, but anyway, so yeah, she is getting better, and that was the last conversation I had with her. Um, yeah, so thank you guys for coming. This is 4 years on YouTube, was actually last week on the 13th. And I know some of you guys are newer, some of you guys have been there from the very beginning. Um, and basically the first 3 years of my channel was down in California, in town, urban situation. And I have my last 3 years of videos. My first 3 years of videos for YouTube was my last 3 years of 11 years, a little more than 11 years of having edible landscaping and, urban food forest type thing, uh, urban homesteading. So we got the last 3 years of those 11 years. And so some of that, definitely prepped me for this. And then here I have a year here and I'm still working on infrastructure. And so I expect to get a lot of that done in the next year from here. And um and the more the better, right? But yeah, it's been 4 years and it's been awesome. And so thank you guys for supporting me and watching everything. I give some stats in tomorrow's video, but if you've been with me from the beginning and watched everything, you've watched a lot of videos. Yeah. Thank you. So sorry, my nose is itchy. Steve says congrats on the 4th. Thank you. And Dawn says happy 4th year celebration. Thank you. Yeah. It's been good. It's been good. I enjoy talking with you guys. I enjoy sharing information, getting information, all that. So it's very, very good. Yeah, and people are supportive of each other. Just like what Farmel said, does anybody know anything about Vay? And for those that don't know, Vay is Verna, of Vay's Place. She has a channel. She usually does lives on Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings. I don't know how that's going to be the next probably few weeks, but oh, you're there. Awesome. Verna's here. Yay. Verna, everybody wants to know how you're doing. I told them that you're recovering. If you want to say something else, you can say something else. But yeah, Verna's awesome. Fireworks for the celebration. Awesome. I'm glad you made it here, Berta. Hope you're doing so much better. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's been, yeah, we've been talking about it. Everybody saying hi to Verna. Help you feel better soon from Dawn. Glad to see you from Erica. All right, not much better, no, not 100% yet. I get it. I get it. Well, keep on resting and all of that. And Verna says, thanks for all your concern. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're a community. We care about each other. Anybody that's watching for the first time, this is real. we, this is real. We know a lot of us know each other and and care about what happens to people. So that's good. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 4 years on YouTube. And I looked and I have 39 different playlists. So if we're not talking about a topic you want to talk about, go find another playlist, right? What celebration? This is 4 years. 4 years for me on YouTube, Verna. Yeah. Yeah. Um, thank you. Thank you for the congratulations. Yeah, and so yeah, there's 39 different playlists, hundreds of videos, and all of that. So yeah. Uh, Dawn is asking if Verna has been a mod for 4 years. Close to it. I think I don't remember when it was in that first year. Well, no, because I didn't start live chats until almost a year in. I looked at that. My first live chat was in September of 22. And then I think it was sometime that year still. Yeah. Yeah. So it was whenever I started the lives, it was very shortly after that. Verna's like, you need a moderator. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So it would have been somewhere around 3 years for that. Yeah. Um yeah. We know each other. Yeah. Um yeah, so it was kind of neat looking back at things and once I figured out it was 4 years, I was like, okay, that's a lot. And if you are looking at yes, Verna encouraged me since the very beginning, for sure. For sure. Yeah. There was yep, for sure. Um yeah, if you look back at my beginning videos, um there was quite the difference in comfort in front of a camera and comfort in looking into the lens and talking to you because I know you and I'm talking to you. If you are new and wanting to do a YouTube channel, um, you have to look in the lens and talk as if you're talking to a person and anticipate the questions they may ask and answer them. So yeah, yeah. Steve says I've been here for all the lives, but I think on the channel itself only 3 years. Yeah, you've been here for a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people have been here from the very beginning. A lot of quail people. A lot of quail people, and then there's people that I know from outside of quail that aren't quite so active in the chat. My dad said he was going to be on here tonight. Maybe he's still walking the dog. Um, yeah, no, it's been awesome. The other thing I can say is if you want to start a YouTube channel and you have the capability to comment on here, that means you already have a YouTube channel. So that means you have a um, you have a if you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube channel. Basically, it's just private and nobody can see it until you make it public, or until you do the individual things. So if you're waiting on that because you're like, oh, I don't know about that, you already have it. So yeah, go for it. Just don't put things out there that you wouldn't say to a stranger, because guess what, you're talking to strangers at first. Steve says, you get a trophy for putting up with me all this time. Aw, Steve, no, you're awesome. You're awesome. Verna's saying hi to everyone. My dad just chimed in. He says, I've been with you for over 40 years. You win. You win. Oh, welcome. I hope your walk went well. They are going to have a cold day tomorrow, so yeah. We're getting into rainy season. We did not get so I know weather wise, Midwest, is that right? Is it going all the way to the east for the for the um for the cold? You guys are getting the Arctic blast or whatever we're calling it. So yeah, snuggle down for that, right? Um, we're not getting that much cold here. It's raining though, but we're not getting as much rain as California. Kind of mid-southern California is getting a lot of rain. A lot of the area that burned by the Los Angeles area this last year, they had a lot of people got evacuated because of the potential for landslides and mudslides with all this rain. When a fire burns an area and it's severe enough, the soil loses its ability to have that water trickle down and stay solid, right? It bakes the top layer, which makes water run off very quickly. But then also it has some structural things that happen that basically means the structural things, because of the heat the um, plus the lack of roots holding it in place, that becomes a very, very good reason for the earth to fall away if it's on a hill and create a landslide. So a lot of people got evacuated that around burn scars. But yeah, I have my little rolly thing back. I am drinking coconut water today. This is a different one. I just tried it for the first time. I've been craving coconut water, so I do it. Not all the time, so I get it when I'm craving it. There's coconut water with ginger, lime, and turmeric, and it's pretty good. So anyway, all right, let's scroll up. All right, Steve says, "Welcome back to the land of the living," because to Verna, everybody's saying hi to my dad. Steve is giving my dad a trophy for endurance. Okay, Steve says, in the Mid-South, we are back to the upper 70s during the day. All right. All right. Oh, my dad's reporting on the doggy walk. Chase a rabbit and a deer. Good walk for Remy. No new sticks, though. It's supposed to be 21 here tomorrow night. It's not supposed to get that cold here, so that's good. Okay, it's going to get cold starting the 28th at Verna's place. And Dawn says they claim an ice storm for Thanksgiving Day. 77 degrees yesterday, Indian summer. I've had snow for Thanksgiving many times. It is winter then. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's funny. Like I kind of start thinking about winter happening, November-ish. And we always had a chance of snow on Halloween growing up. And so that's kind of like the beginning. And then like, oh, November is winter. But winter doesn't start until well into December. So yeah, somebody needs to change that, right? Oh, 37 at Verna's, 50s in the day. The temperatures were great today, but I wasn't outside because I was working. So it was typity. Yeah. Yeah. So we've been getting water, but not as much as Southern California is right now. Yeah. So, um, so yeah, I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on what the best part of the channel has been over the last 4 years, or if you have a favorite video. I'm just curious what you guys think. Yeah, I'm curious. Over the last 4 years, what's been your favorite video? Versus we won't get ice until the 29th. All right. All right. And my dad says our big snow usually happens January, February here when it does happen. Yeah. Yeah, and the high desert acts different. Um, it's very dry, so yeah. And big snows where he's talking about is like a foot, right? Is that your big snow that you're talking about? I remember growing up, the biggest snow was my fourth grade year, and there was snow up to my knee. I don't know how tall I was, but it was up to my knee, and everybody had snow forts at the playground and all of that. So yeah, yeah. All right, Verna's favorite is the way you interact with all your animals, bunnies, chicken, and quail. Oh, I do like to interact with them. I do talk to them and all of that. So that's good. Um, Nobody else has a favorite, huh? I'm being shy. Also, every time you find something interesting, Verna, that's like that's like all the time. My dad says like watching you wander around your property. You sound like a creep, but that's okay. You're my dad. No, I get it. The going on an adventure stuff. Um, yeah, I want to do more of that, and I just collected. Um, well, I just swapped out the SD cards for the cameras, and I went through them yesterday because the local so we're putting on my local town is putting on a dessert auction, and it's just like the biggest fundraiser of the year for the town. And um, we have to sell raffle tickets for the raffle items. And so we sign up for blocks of time, and my block one of my blocks of time was yesterday from noon to 5. One person came in. But I brought in all the SD cards and I went through all of them except for one in that time. And so that was really, really neat. And I'm going to be doing some more of that in other places as well. The elk haven't started yet. I want to know when they start. I thought I heard them the other day, but they haven't started. And I haven't seen fresh scat in a little bit. So they might be grouping up somewhere else first. Um, but I did see new species to me here, not a new species to me, but I've been saying that I haven't been seeing raccoons and I expect to see them. And I finally got one raccoon on trail camera. So I know they're here. I know they're right there. Oh, two. And over there. Um, yeah, so I'll definitely be well, I think one of my cameras died brand new, but cheap, right? Um, so I have to replace that. I was going to do that today and I didn't get to it. But I need to replace that one and kind of bring it inside and fiddle with it and see if I can figure it out. Um, but before it quit, it got a raccoon and it got a fox. So that's all right. All right. I am going up. All right. My dad says I like watching. Oh, you wander around your property. I just read that. Dawn says I like the bunnies, and favorite was the birthing, but also the trail cams are cool. Yeah, so there's going to be more trail camera stuff, and there's going to be more bunny stuff. I think Ravioli might have them tonight. If you remember last year or this summer or when not summer, last bunny year, the bunny year starts in the fall. um, if you remember me talking about when, like, within 24 hours before they have their kits, which is what a baby bunny is called, they tend to, like, if you pet them, hair comes off on your hand, and that's not only if they're shedding, that's anytime. And that their hormone is going that makes it easy for them to pull their fur out because that's what they make their nest out of. It's how they keep their babies warm. They don't sit on them like birds. And so her Ravioli's fur, when I pet her this evening, it came off a little bit. It's starting to. So I don't know if she's going to have them tonight or maybe go an extra day. Um, Probably tonight is my guess. And then Rigatoni doesn't really have that yet, but she still might have them tonight. Yeah. So we're looking at tonight or tomorrow night, I think. So you'll see more baby bunnies. But Thursday's video is going to be the breeding. I haven't gotten it out yet. And then shortly after that will be kits. So you don't even have to wait. The magic of a video. Yeah. All right. And yeah, more trail camera stuff will come. I have one more already prepared that I did at my parents' house. That'll be next week. And then I have one more that I want to go through, like the very specific situations, like interesting situations that you could be in. But yeah, once you get into trail cameras, it's pretty addicting and it's pretty cool. All right. Erica says, I also love the way you teach. You're a natural teacher. Thank you. Thank you. I like to teach people who want to learn. I don't like to teach people that don't want to learn. I taught labs. I taught zoology and ecology labs when I was going through my master's program, and everybody said I was a great teacher. Like, oh, you want to be? Are you going to be a teacher? Are you going to be a teacher? You should be a teacher. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a teacher. And I would say, if everybody was there to learn, I would love to teach. And the thing about YouTube is everybody's there to learn or there to enjoy. If you're not here to enjoy, then that's your own fault. Right? Yeah. Oh, and Verna says, you got that right. My dad says, people have always said that. Awesome. Thank you guys. Um, no, Steve. Raccoon is another 4-letter word. I know it has more than 4, but there you go. Steve says, can I send you some raccoons? How many do you want? No. Okay. If you guys watched the video from today, it dawned on me today, don't know why today, that those may have been raccoons in the tree, not foxes, not other owls. It may have been raccoons. But a fox has been hanging out over there, so that's why my brain was stuck on fox. And foxes do climb trees. I don't know that they climb vertical, but whatever. But no, I do not need any of your or anybody else's raccoons. Raccoons are very cute. They're very smart, intelligent. They wash their food. You think of them as kind of these clean animals, but they are the ones with the most possibly, like, they're the ones with the most possibility, highest possibility for disease. So if you see raccoon poo, don't touch it. Don't touch it. It might have stuff in it. I mean, you should probably not touch any poo, but if you're going to, I don't know what you're going to do with it. Anyway, don't. Oh. Okay, Dawn is asking, what kind of straw or hay do you line the nest boxes with? It doesn't matter. I have a couple bales of Timothy, and so that's what I use. Timothy is really good to feed them, but I still have them. It's actually it's actually old hay, but that's okay. It's not molded or anything. Straw is better, especially in a colder climate, and here's why. Straw has hollow. So okay, there's hay and there's straw. Hay was cut green, and it is green when you get it, right? It's green. If it stays out, it might turn brown, but it's green. It often has seeds in it. It often has seed heads and stuff like that in it. So in that case, it's not the best because you can put seeds everywhere, and you may or may not want that. Hay is cut dry, and it's basically when it's cut, it's already has a hollow part, and so it's more insulating. But then it's also less likely to mold. And so if you're seeing any sort of deterioration of whatever you use, you should remove it and replace it. And that can happen if the babies are peeing in the box when they shouldn't. Some people make their nest boxes to have a screen on the bottom, or like a 1/4 inch, not a 1/2 inch, a 1/4 inch hardware cloth on the bottom. And then they put a piece of cardboard down, and then the straw, and then what that does is if there is any moisture on the bottom, it goes through. Um, you can say yay or nay to that. When baby rabbits, kits, are in the nest box, they do their own thermal regulation. So they have to regulate their own heat. Mom will tuck them in sometimes. So, like, mom will pull a bunch of fur, sometimes a ridiculous amount. And you're like, where does it come from? Sometimes they may have little bald spots. Most of the time they don't. And she'll put the fur in there, and the babies are in the fur. And when the babies are cold, they cuddle up and they go into the fur. When they are too warm, then they'll come up to the top and they'll kick off the blankets. And then if they get too cold again, they'll burrow under. And if they get too cold, they'll end up at the bottom of the box. And if they end up at the bottom of the box and you have a screen on it, then that they could be going to where it's cold as well. So anyway, food for thought. So I would say if you're in a cold area and it's winter and it's cold, use straw, and you don't already have hay, go ahead and get straw. If you have hay, use hay. For me, I've always used hay because I don't feel like buying a whole bale of straw. I don't think there's a wrong answer. The only thing is, if you see or smell mold or mildew or whatever, get whatever is in there out and replace it. I don't think I've had to do that. I don't think so. But that is the risk of hay, is that it has a little bit more moisture to it. All right. Is that a raccoon? It is a raccoon. Thank you, Steve. Someone's laughing at something. I'm past it. Oh, the raccoons. Got it. Yeah, my dad thinks there's koalas in the tree. I think they're not going to survive very long without eucalyptus, which I don't think I've seen any eucalyptus here. Steve says, if they were in the tree, I'd suspect raccoons. Foxes normally on ground or burrow. So foxes do climb trees. They definitely do climb the cherry tree, for sure. Saw them up there. Foxes are known for climbing, and I don't know how well they would climb a straight trunk, though, and that's what I'm struggling with. I think it was probably raccoons. I was thinking owls maybe, but I'm kind of thinking raccoons now. I don't know. I only saw one on the camera. Okay, possums are the cleanest pests to have around. This is Verna. Not Verna, not that Verna is a pest or possum. This is her saying this. Yeah. Yep, possums are the cleanest pests to have around. Raccoons are the dirtiest, most disease-carrying varmints. Possums are interesting. They have a lower body temperature, so things like rabies, they don't get, because their body temperature is too low to support the rabies virus. Now, raccoons, on the other hand, are known for that. In fact, there are some places that they actually put out bait, like they'll throw it out or they'll drop it from airplanes even. There's this bait that is a rabies vaccine, and they put those in areas that have a lot of raccoons. Yes, so Steve says hay absorbs moisture more than straw, and I think that happens because it has more moisture to begin with. Yeah, that's the shortened. I should have done that. Shortened's pretty, huh? Don says, I read they want soft hay, horse hay, Timothy or Bermuda. Straw is warmer. It is stiff and can hurt them. If mine are pregnant, they will go through sub-zero winter. Wrong time to breed. Um, you should be good. So when you're going to be surprised at how warm that pile of babies is um, because they create a lot of heat. So that's why when a rabbit has one or two babies, they usually don't make it. It's because they don't create enough heat. They have to rely on each other for the heat. Um, but if you put up, I mean, leave do the same thing that you would do for quail, basically, because I know you know quail. Um, if you put even just feed bags, if you put feed bags on the sides of the hutches and leave the bottom and top, you know, not the top open to the sky, but if you leave some ventilation on the bottom of the top, um, then that should give them some good wind protection, and that will be important if there is wind and also cold. Um, People breed them in the winter, um, fine. So if it's sub-zero for an extended period of time, that might be an issue. There are also people who do what's called shelving. So if you shelf the babies, um, a mama rabbit will feed her babies 2 to 3 times a day. Usually two times a day. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of times it's in the middle of the night. But what you can do is you can literally take the nest box inside at night when it gets cold and then take them out again. Now, if you do that, I suggest you don't put it next to the fire because you want them to keep their thermoregulation going. I wouldn't do that unless you see that there's a problem. Because you reach in that nest box and it's going to be hot. I do recommend though that if you're making your nest boxes and you're expecting to go through super cold temperatures, don't do it out of metal and don't do it out of wire. Some people do wire and then stick cardboard in. I would do it out of wood, thick wood that gives some more insulation. Um, and I would not have a screen bottom in that case. But know that that's an option. I wouldn't just do it because you're scared something's going to happen. I mean, you're going to be able to put your hand in there and say, okay, they're warm. And if mama's a good mama, she will pull more fur. I've had them pull more fur for cold nights, not sub-zero. No, actually, not sub-zero, sub-freezing, but not sub-zero. Um, I've had them pull more fur because it was going to be cold that night after they were, not just at the nesting time, but after, a week or something like that, they'll pull more fur to give that to their babies. Um, don't put in a towel because they can get suffocated in that. Some people want to do that. Don't put in a towel. Let them use the fur. So yeah. I have no idea about it stabbing them. I've never used hay because I've never used straw because I've always had hay. Hay is fine to use. Um, yeah, I don't know. I would say the wrong time to breed would be going into summer. Yeah. Okay. Dawn says I will remove the plywood bottom and put hardware cloth and cardboard on them for winter. Yeah, I mean you might need you don't necessarily need a screen and bottom, but I would just use wood. If you already have one that has plywood, just keep it how it is and see how it works. And then know that if you need to change things, you can, or you can do it in the next litter. You'll be fine. As long as the babies stay in the nest box and don't get left on the wire, then you'll be fine. The only times that you are likely to have them on the wire in a dangerous situation is right after they're born, because they're not they don't generally. Rabbits have the ability to pick things up, but they are not. It's not hardwired in them to pick them up like a cat or a dog would and put them in a pile. They pretty much, when they have them, they're in the nest box having them. So if they've had them and they're on the wire, it's up to you to get it into the nest box. And so that's number one. Number two would be if it was attached to a teat and she jumps out of the nest box and it's still holding on. I've heard of that happening, but I have never experienced that. What I have experienced once was one that got out and couldn't get back in. And that was basically when they start opening their eyes at, you know, 10 days old, they start opening their eyes. They see this world and they're like, oh, I want to go explore it. And so that's why I put a brick in front so they have a step to get in, but they have to know how to get in. So as soon as I see one out, I train it. I pick it up and I put it right next to the step. And you know, like if you were playing with a doll, right? Hop, 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 go up there, you know, training it. And then finally it'll go in and yeah. Usually they figure it out before I even know they're out of the box because I'm inside a lot of the day working. But yeah. All right. Um, Dawn says I have more hay than straw, but I have both. Um, Try one, see if you like it. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm with Verna here. Verna says, Dawn, I would advise you to keep the wood bottom and just pay attention to smells and moisture. Yeah, so that's what I would do, and that's what I do here. But yeah, cleaning out bad bits every day. Yeah, and that's something mom will do too. So you think, oh, what happens? Well, what happens with all the yuckies? You know, these guys are, you know, they're peeing and pooing and stuff. You will get some moisture in the bottom when they get a little bit older, but mom picks through it. So she'll eat the teeny tiny poos, and she will eat the bad straw. Um, she's going to keep those babies clean. And sometimes I've had usually a runt that doesn't get cleaned and is like yellow. Like, okay, mama, you need to clean this one. I'll actually show it to her. And at least my rabbits, they've always, the next time I come around, all of their babies are clean. And they just have too many kids. I mean, they just have too much on their plate. So, yeah. Um, yeah, but mom will do that. If you see stuff, you can do that too. But um, yeah, start watching them. Start being out there late at night, and you can see a lot of cool things. Yeah. Oh, Steve has an update on foxes. Gray foxes can climb vertical as they have semi-retractable claws and rotating wrists like cats. Red foxes do not, so they can't climb vertical. Okay. Yeah, they also have the dew claw, the one down here, I believe. Cool. Yeah, gray fox. We may have red foxes here, but gray fox is the one that I've been seeing. So, yeah, I think gray foxes here are smaller. Maybe I'm just seeing babies. I don't know. Um, No. So Steve asked a good question. So when we're shelving rabbits, which I've never done, well, the only time I've brought a nest box inside is when Meatball, Mama Bunny, when she died, and I brought her young inside. And they were just inside. And I didn't put them outside again, you know. Um, but Steve asked, when you take the nest box inside, do you take the mama too? No, no, because mom does not do anything really unless she's feeding them. When she feeds them, she can clean them. She may clean them another time, but rabbits are a prey animal. So mom wants to not lead predators to her babies, which means she's going to be a good mom by staying away from them, which is not, we have our altruism going on with, dogs and cats and things, but being a good mom when you are a prey animal is basically ignore your kids. Don't let anybody know they're there. Feed them, keep them clean, shut them up, you know, all of those things. So no, mama stays out, unless you think for some reason she needs to come in. I don't know the minimum temperature. Um, that's suitable for that. I just know if you are going to do something to their hutches to make them better prepared for cold or wind or something like that, make sure moisture can escape. Make sure there is air movement. The killer that happens to animals in the winter usually is not the cold, but the moisture. When you have moist cold, that's what's bad for the animals. So yeah. All right. Verna says, personally, I would not remove the nest box from a mama rabbit's cage. I wouldn't either unless there is some reason to. Um, and that reason, I mean, if it was going to get super, 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 super cold and there was like two rabbits in there instead of, typical, you know, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, uh, that might be a reason too. But um, yeah, I've never had to, except for when they didn't have a mom. And I mean, I could have left them outside and brought and fed them outside and all of that. Um, the only warmth mom provides is the fur that she literally leaves in the nest and the shape of the nest that she makes. And the babies are going to screw up the shape very quickly. Yeah. Yeah, so Verna says 18-hour hand warmers instead of removing. You could do that. I don't know how long those last in sub-zero conditions out in the open. They also might be a little hot for the rabbits. I would definitely wrap it if you're going to do that. But yeah, so 18-hour hand warmers, those are the ones that you crack. They're like packets. Some of them are small, so there's some of them that are big. You crack them and then you like go like this until they get warm. They get hot. I have put that in an incubator during a power outage before, and that worked. Um, so that worked really well. Um, yeah, warm water bottles would work too, but I don't think you shouldn't need to unless there's very few baby rabbits. Um, because that's how they get their heat is their siblings. So yeah. But again, you don't want to get them too warm because you don't want to get them you don't want to give them a shock when you get them back out into the cold. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. How cold does it get where you are, Dawn? Yeah, and Brenna's saying that's only if a blizzard hits. Yeah, that's going to be like if it's severe. Because if you look at your rabbits right now, they should have a much thicker coat than they did before. Um, my bunnies and the kitties, um, they've put on quite the coat this year, and so I'm expecting it to get cold. But I mean, cold to me is going to be different than cold to you. Yeah, 9 below for a couple weeks straight. Okay. Oh wait, -9 or below. Yeah. Well, keep track of them and you can make those decisions along the way. But you're going to be surprised at how warm they are just from your hand. Like you put your hand over the pile of little babies, and you're like, okay, you're good. So you got to go back to work. All right. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. -9. Yep. Have a good night. Have a good night. All right. Um, so are there things you guys want to see on this channel? Are there topics that I haven't covered or you would want more coverage of or more specific coverage of? Um, oh, Dawn says happy 4th anniversary. Thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, I'm just wanting to know if you guys are wanting more of a certain subject or if you like having. I feel like this is a very well-rounded channel. I was told by someone early on, um, stick to one topic, and I'm like, this is one topic. It's homesteading. It involves a lot of different things. Um, yeah. Anyway, let me know if you want to see more or something. But yeah, 4 years on YouTube is pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, it was 4 years. Yeah, September was the live chat when I started. A year, it was almost a year into it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I have one less video than I used to do per week, but it's good. It's more relaxed, but I still put an effort into it, so it's good. Um, yeah. So we talked bunnies. These bunnies are gonna have babies here probably tonight. I'm gonna guess tonight and tomorrow night. I'm gonna guess Ravioli's gonna have them tonight and Rigatoni's gonna have them tomorrow night is my guess. Um, Ravioli was bigger than Rigatoni. I don't know if you guys saw the video from today, but they when they lay down and have their belly on the side a little bit, you can see them. Yeah. You're waiting on infrastructure videos, Steve says. Yeah, yeah, I'm waiting on infrastructure things. That will be good. Yeah, the infrastructure videos. The first one that's probably going to happen is fencing. I do need to build more rabbit tractors, so you guys will see that. I've started the rabbit tractor video like 3 separate times, and my drive that things were on failed and is unrecoverable. So at least I need more. I will eventually get that. Um, Berta says, "What do you use to edit your videos?" I use Wondershare Filmora, and it was when I got it. It was $68 for a lifetime um, subscription. So like, period, $68. And I didn't at that time, Steve. I should have. I should have at that time. Yeah, do now. Um, yeah, Wondershare Filmora. Um, show you guys what it looks like. Um, come on. All right, let me show you what it looks like. No, I don't want it. See, the only thing is it wants to keep updating, and if I upgrade, they want more money. And so, like last time, it got to a place where it wanted to upgrade, and it wasn't going to work. I don't know if I called them or emailed them. I think they're like over in China or something. Um, and I basically fought with them. I said, "No, I bought a lifetime subscription. If you're not going to support it anymore, you give me the new one." And they did, but I had to fight for it. So I don't know that I would recommend it. It works. It works fine. Um, oh, I was going to show you what it looks like. Where'd you guys go? Um, share screen window. This one. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You can add files here. So like I can add files here. I start here, I put in my thing there. Um, I'm actually going to open up a different one because I haven't done that yet. So let me open up like the one from yesterday, from today. All right. So, where are you guys? I lost you. There you are. Okay, let me do this. Share screen, window, and that one. Okay, so there's what it looks like. Can you guys see my mouse? Yes, okay. So in here, these are all your files. These are the files you start with. So I have all of these files went into yesterday's or to today's video. I can record sound. So like, let's say I want something here and I want some sound. Then I go over to the microphone thing. You guys see that? Let me see. Oh, it doesn't show you the whole thing. Okay. Well, it pops up with a little microphone thing, and you can press record and do that. And then you can do over, if you highlight a video here, this whole thing on the right hand side comes up. And so like you can mess with the audio, you can I generally just mess with the audio by going over here and pulling up and down. But you can mess with color, speed. So this is how I do fast forward or rewind or whatever. And then like this one right here is zoomed in. Let me go to a different thing here. So like this is a video, that's the regular size. Let's say we want to zoom in, we just take the corner and drag it, and then that makes it bigger, and it works. Yeah, there's a microphone thing here, so you can talk into your computer microphone and add things. So that's what these are down here. And then picture. So like if I wanted to take a picture of this, all I do is click there. It says where do you want it, and then you put the folder and you go okay, and then it takes a few seconds and then it pops up down here, and you can then like move this over here and put over something. Anyway, it's pretty good. The reason why I got it, I was just using whatever is free on the computer. The reason why I got it is because of this feature here, where you can put something over something, right? And layer things and all that. So anyway, I'm not going to save what I just did. So yeah, it's a good program, but just if it's lifetime, you have to fight for it to be lifetime, then I don't know about like longevity, but it's been working okay. So yeah. All right, let me go up, up. Hey, Gidro's Family Farm is here. Hello, Aaron. Happy YouTube anniversary, late but here. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's 4 years in. 4 years in. All right. People are saying hi to Aaron. Yep, that sure likes Windows Default Movie Maker. Oh boy. Yeah, so my dad has 4 trail cameras in his backyard, which you'll see some of them in the video that's going to come out next week. And he says, I edit my trail cam videos with Microsoft Clipchamp. It looks very similar to what Katrina uses, and it's free. But can you layer things? I don't think you can layer things on that. Yeah, he'll just take like a bunch of videos and put them together and cut off the pieces that are like dead air kind of thing. Because when you have a camera trap, most of the action is at the very beginning. And like if the animal's gone, then you have like 20 seconds of nothing. So yeah. Clipchamp. So that'd be something to look at if you don't want to put things on top of things. Adobe Pro is like the go-to, but last I checked, it was $20 a month, and I'm not paying $20 a month. I got to get more subscribers watching if I'm paying that much. Work on that, okay? No. Oh yes, Lane had a birthday. Steve says, "Hello, Aaron. Happy belated birthday to Lane." Absolutely, happy birthday to Lane. Oh, is that Lane too? Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Abla teacher, welcome, welcome. They say, "Hi, I have quail, 3 hens, and 1 rabbit that I am considering breeding." Wait, quail, 3 hens, and 1 rabbit? The rabbit will not breed with your birds. Or you're saying you have quail and you have 3 hens and you have a rabbit that you can make consider the breeding the rabbit. It takes 2 to tango. So do you have a male or female? And do you know how to tell the difference? Because I have a video on telling the difference. Steve looked it up last time, I think. Uh, Gender, I think, was how you looked it up. I don't remember. But yeah, awesome. Awesome. I love that. I used to have 3, I'm guessing 3 hens is your quail, maybe. Um, if you're going to breed quail, 3-to-1 ratio for male. Well, if you get 1 male and you have 3 hens, that they're going to be a little bit overbred. 5-to-1 is about right. So you may consider getting a couple more hens, unless he's a very not vigorous boy. And the rabbit, I mean, hey, if you have a female rabbit and there is a buck out there in the world that has a stud fee or something, I don't know. Do people do this with rabbits? Then go for it. Yeah. All right. My dad says I edit my trail cam videos with Clipchamp. Looks very similar to what Katrina uses. It's free. I don't need and do not use most of the features. Yeah. Yeah, if you're just clipping things together and putting it together, yeah. Yeah, so Abella, Aaron on here, which is Guido's Family Farm, and you can look them up online for Guido. So Verna or Steve, can you put their website up, please? They have a quail farm, and we recommend getting quail from them or getting eggs from them, for sure. Yeah. Good point. You have a female. Yeah, I know you're getting silly, right? Yeah. So if you get them, so how old is your female? And what kind? Do you know what kind? We're asking you all the questions. This isn't a quiz. Um, and is it breeding for meat or is it breeding for pets? Because we should entertain that as well. I mean the auction is the same, but yeah. If you have a female that's 8 or 9 months, she'll do well. You want to get them a big enough body so that when they are bred, it doesn't stunt their growth. And then for the bucks, they can breed as soon as they're actually breeding. Like 7 months is fine. Um, I think that's when Percy started breeding. Is about 7 months. I thought it was early, but it worked. He could barely reach, but it worked. Yeah. Um, mm, that might be a good that might be a good video if you want to do a video uh, of my dad exploring with that tool and see if we can figure out how to use it. Actually, if it's a free thing, that would be good for me to know. Yeah. Oh, Christina is on the farm channel, and Aaron is egg. Well, welcome, Christina, as well. All right, everybody saying hi. Abella says, I may get a rabbit buck. I already have plenty of quail. Okay. Thank you for the link, Verna. Yeah, Verna can't find how to block out things on Clipchamp. That might have been what I was using before. Um, Sorry, my nose is just very itchy. That might have been what I was using before, and I couldn't figure it out. And so I asked a friend of mine what she uses. She just does simple, edits, and she said Filmora, which is the Wonder Share Filmora. And when I saw it was $68 for lifetime use, I'm like, well, yeah, that sounds good. Um, Yeah. And so the video, I'm just going to tell the story. It's a little embarrassing. The video that I decided I needed to upgrade was the pumpkin pie video. So, um, pumpkin pie video. I don't know if you guys find the link for that. Um, it's the second one, the one where we're actually making pumpkin pie. I did it in my pajamas. I did not realize I was in the shot. I needed to cover up. And so that's why there is a square of pumpkin pie in the corner most of the time. I just decided, oh, let's make it normal. And so there's whenever that video came out, that's what I changed. Anyway, um, Christina and Aaron, that is a treat. That is a treat. You guys usually come in one or the other, huh? Well, welcome, welcome, and thank you for coming for my 4-year anniversary for YouTube. Yeah. Oh, Lane's doing football, huh? All right, all right. Thanks for putting up Gidros's link, and thank you guys for the links. All right. Yeah. So to answer my dad's question, he's asking, does blocking mean editing videos? What she's saying is when there's a video to put a video over it. So like how I do the picture what I just showed you, I have my logo in the corner. That is actually on top of the video. So it's a picture on top of the video. Or anytime I have writing on it, it's a picture on top of a video. I think that's what she's talking about. Yeah. I know, I know. Steve says, hello, Christina, the great quail video short queen. You guys have had lots of little shorts. Awesome. Awesome. And Christina says, I try, Steve. I have some more to post and need to do a fall garden tour. I've been slacking. Oh my gosh. Garden stuff. Okay, yesterday afternoon and last night, I finished shoveling bunny poo and got it over to the garden expansion area. And guys, you think they poop a lot, but they don't poop enough. Those that know. I wanted more bunny poop than that, but I might have to thin it out, or maybe I'll just let it go through winter and then spread it out. My plan is to clean out the chicken coop. It hasn't been cleaned out in a year. Actually, I didn't clean out when I came here. There was only one chicken here before. I mean, there was more than that before, but she lived to 16 years old, so hey. So I was going to clean that out and onto the garden on top of the rabbit poo, and let winter happen, and then deal with that portion later, spread it around. But yeah. Anyway, garden. And I met some people locally that are like-minded, and actually dropped off some saffron bulbs over the other day and came back with baskets of strawberries. I'm like, their strawberries are still producing. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. All right. Abella says, my rabbit is an American chinchilla doe that is about 9 months old. Perfect. The thought is to breed for meat if I can manage to get my teen daughter on board. Son is interested in making fried rabbit. Awesome. Um, Check out some of our videos for cooking. We actually did I did fried rabbit this last time, right? Was that this last month? For the Cook With Me Live, we did that. I said it's fried chicken, but for me it's fried rabbit because that's what I have. Um, and then also we made chicken parmesan with rabbit instead. Oh, I did. Everybody else did chicken. Um, and that was the Cook With Me Live. We have other recipes on the channel as well. And then there's a rabbit playlist. I have 39 playlists on here, and there is a rabbit playlist. So if you're wanting to learn about that, you're welcome to these live chats. And then also go ahead and watch the playlists. I did kind of a more condensed, targeted thing last year where I tried to be more complete about raising rabbits, like the different steps. Um, but yeah, as you go through it, this is definitely the channel to ask those questions. I raise rabbits currently. Verna used to raise rabbits. Geed roses. Do you guys still have your rabbits? They either do or did have rabbits. Who else on here has rabbits? Dawn is just starting with hers. Andy Rabbit, who's not on here, but she does rabbits. Um, so there's good resource here for rabbits for sure. Um, I made that one 3 years ago. Yeah, I must have been doing the other clip champ or whatever, chimp whatever before Wondershare. Yeah. Um, Aaron says Mondays are usually tough for us because it's poop tray day. Oh, I feel so loved. We had all three of us tonight, so we were fast. Awesome. Overlay. Yeah, an overlay. That would be what it is. Or a way to blur it. Yeah. Yeah, we're not using technical language, Steve. I did say rabbit playlist, and it looks like Steve just put a link there. Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Aaron says our rabbits got used for the butcher demo at Gulf Coast Homesteading Convention. All of them? Away from keyboard is AFK. It does sound like swearing. Yeah, so my dad is asking this, and Verna is the queen of what are those called? Acronyms? She's the queen of putting letters out there and then having us figure out what it is. Because they actually do mean something. She just knows what it is, and I don't. I do know that one. I think she needs to make a book. I've told her this so many times. Yeah, away from keyboard. All right. Abella says, I remember asking you about feed conversion ratios, and you estimate 25-pound pellets to raise one grow out rabbit. It's going to be more than that. It'll be one bag, which is 50 pounds. Wondering how typical that is and how it compares to other folks' numbers. Yeah, so those that raise rabbits, did you look at that at all? Because I did. It was a bag of feed, which to me is a 50-pound bag of feed per individual when I did it. These the two that are going to have babies tonight or tomorrow, they I have separate feed set aside for them so I can redo that because now that I have pasture, I'm going to have rabbits on pasture, and I want to be able to recalculate about how much it's costing me. But yeah, that is an awesome question to ask, and we'll see if anybody else has done the math. But yeah, mine was a full bag of feed. Yeah. BAK means back. Um, yeah, back at keyboard. Okay. Steve says it depends on the type of rabbit and what size they are and if they have kits or not. Yeah, so I think what they're asking is, from birth, how much does a rabbit eat until it's processed? It's going to depend on how it's going to depend on when you process it as well, because a lot of people process at 10 weeks. I process at 12 weeks. And then the other part of that is the growth rate. So are your rabbits growing quickly or are they growing slowly? Different kinds will have different growth rates and all that. Um, so yeah, I suggest you plan for one kit to be one bag. If you're not going to feed them other things. I mean, you can feed them hay and all of that too. Um, but I just needed to have some measure that said what it was. And when I did that in my previous location where I didn't have access to pasture, it was a bag of feed basically, per baby. Um, so yeah. And then if you want to add in cost for the adults for the rest of their, their non-breeding or time, or the non with kit time, because I count. What I do is when mom has kits, she can eat whatever she wants, not whatever she wants, but how much she wants, and you always keep that full. And so I can't calculate it out per baby. I During the time that mom has kits, I start that time when she has kits, and whatever is consumed in that hutch is divided by the number of babies in the hutch. And we ignore that mom exists because we know that it's going to be pretty constant, um, for every litter. She might eat more with bigger litters, but it's going to be somewhat constant. So yeah, yep. Um, oh my gosh. Um, Verna says on Facebook, asked me about JFD. Yeah, you can't say the D part, I think. Um, yeah. All right. Some people say 3 to 1 or 4 to 1 feed to rabbit weight, which would be more likely 15, 20 pounds per kit to reach 5 pounds. So I do more than 5 pounds. So 50 pounds for one rabbit sounds significantly higher feed cost wise. Yeah. So it depends on. So is it the live weight? Is it the dead weight? And um is it a big boned rabbit like a somebody help me with this? What's the giant one? I don't remember the name of it. Flemish giant. Like if it has any Flemish giant in it, it's going to be that weight is going to be mostly bone, or not mostly. It's going to be a large portion is going to be bone because that yes, Flemish, Flemish. Because Flemish giants grow their bones first because they are going to get large. So that's what I'm saying. How long does it take to grow to maturity? And what does maturity, not maturity, but what does it take to grow till processing time? And when are you processing it? So if you're processing it 5 weeks, you might not be um, using a 50-pound bag, but if you're processing at 12 weeks, sorry, not 5 weeks. You would never process at 5 weeks. 5 pounds. Sorry. If you're processing at 5 pounds and you have a fast growing, um, rabbit, then they'll consume less. If you have a slower growing rabbit, they're going to consume more. If you raise them to a different weight, then they're going to be heavier. So mine tend to be at least over 6 pounds and likely 7 or more when I harvest. And I just figure since you have this animal and it's living and it's growing, it makes sense to just have it a little bigger. And that's me. So, so yeah. Has anybody else done that? Verna, have you looked into how much feed it takes for a rabbit? And I don't know about the feed conversion like per weight, but I just know how much it would be per rabbit. Yeah. Um, yeah. Verna, did you ever do that? Andy would be the person to ask, but I don't think she's here today. Maybe the Yidroses know. Christina, Aaron, do you know? Yeah. Brenna says, I used to know that a year ago, but not anymore. Yeah, when you don't have rabbits anymore, yep. Um, Yeah, and it would also make a difference on what you supplement them with. And in this case, I actually did the math when they only had pellets. So if you are feeding hay, which is a good idea, if you're feeding other things from the garden, then it will be less. And so when I did my calculations, I on purpose did it pellets only. So yeah, it may be less if you have hay, if you have, like I said, pasture. Like I'm redoing this with the pasture at starting at 5 weeks, and so that's going to yield a different result. And I know it will because they get fed. They eat less when they're in the pasture. They eat less pellets when they're in the pasture, for sure. And it's just going to get better year after year, because I'm going to get some different grasses in there. There's going to be some different dynamics in there. Hopefully, I'll be getting rid of the knapweed. The knapweed is great forage for them; they can live on it basically, but it will also be all over the place and take over the world. So I want to do some plantings of things like clover, which has a little bit of higher protein, and some different grasses. So um, definitely what you're giving them and the quality that you're giving them too. So like the highest protein you can get, look at the ingredients, but the highest protein you can get for feed, the better, because they're going to put on better weight that way. I feed right now. I feed 18%, and I've seen it. I've seen it higher than that, but locally, this is the highest I can get. And what I used to feed them, which was 16%, when I was at my other location, they changed it. It's now 15 point something. They're good. Shrinkflation, right? Um, and you're going to have different food options in different places too. So pay attention to that too. Yeah, good point. Desiree's here. Hello, Desiree. How are you? Awesome. Her Rhineck chick is almost fully recovered. Awesome. Congratulations. Um, Aaron says we were the laziest rabbit keepers ever. Rabbits would always go past butcher date because it wasn't a priority. The last two batches for sure did that because I didn't have freezer room and my freezer was late by several weeks. Tastes the same. Put it in a pressure cooker. It's good. But I was worried about that. Might be the reason we don't have any. Yeah, the thing is though, they can go past your butcher date and still be fine. They're not going to go bad. Preferably you don't keep them together long enough that they have babies, because then you have to deal with that. But yeah. Google says 3 pounds of feed to produce 1 pound of weight. So maybe that is. Maybe I'm misremembering. I could be misremembering, but that's what I worked it out to be. So I don't know. Maybe I just had hungry bunnies. Desiree says, my Rhineck chick is now extremely attached to me. He screams until he's held, and it's deafening. Sounds like you need some separation anxiety therapy for your little chick there. Okay, so Aaron's saying, Steve, that sounds close. I may be wrong. It's been a couple years since I did that. Since I did that math, I did that test. But I did take them into week 12 with that, and I did only feed them pellets. So that is, and I can tell you they were crosses between Black New Zealand and Californian. So different breeds are going to have different, different weights at butcher, different all of that. So yeah. Orlando's here. We haven't seen you in a while, Orlando. Welcome, welcome. He says hello to everyone here again. Yay! Oh no, Desiree says not even his sister helped. You have a pet now, I think is what they're called. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I am redoing with these two. I'm going to do it for both letters to look at how much feed. It's really to look at how much it's costing me per rabbit so I can reprice. Um, where I was able to sell processed rabbit for $40 each. And I don't believe the community here would support that. I don't know how far I would have to go to get there. I know there's communities that would pay that, but I need to reevaluate how much it's costing me. But yeah, where I was, I would get $40 a rabbit processed and frozen. And here it's going to be different. I need to find my market. So, and again, this is not the main goal, but I would like to pay for my food, pay for my food's food with their brothers and sisters. Sounds bad. Oh boy. Yes, she has pets. Desiree has pets now. Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you know. I'll let you know in approximately 12 weeks about what it costs me for these ones. So hey, there we go. Anime, you are way too excited. Your birthday's in 2 months. Well, happy birthday to you. Oh my goodness, in 2 months. In 2 months, it'll be next year. In less than 2 months, it'll be next year. Oh boy. So, all right. So we have Orlando on here. How you been? You have questions, or what have you been growing? What have you been growing? That is the question. Oh, Anime says you're gonna butcher one of my older chickens and have it for your birthday. Awesome. Good luck with that. Is boyfriend on board with this? Is he doing it for you, or are you doing it together? She's trying to get her boyfriend to be farmer man. Did I say that right, Desiree? Awesome. Verna has radishes growing. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, here we have the grass is growing again. I would say in the pasture, the grass is about that tall coming up. And the annual, the wild oats. And well, there's other stuff there as well. But yeah. So I need to get some clover seed and I need to get what I need to do is I need to go talk to some people about grasses that grow here and do that. But yeah, lots to do. Lots to do. Together. Good. Good. Brenna says the 3 inches of snow made them jump up more, like it fed them. So your radishes like snow, huh? That's good. Uh-oh. My dad's signing off. Caused enough trouble. You haven't caused any trouble. Good night. Have a good night. I'll see you next week. Well, after the live next week. Oh, yeah. Verna's saying that 4-letter S word again. Oh, in case anybody wants to know what that 4-letter word it is, SNOW. Steve does not like it when we talk about this thing. Yes. radish pod melted that mess quickly. All right. All right. Yeah, I don't really know what our outlook is here for snow, like long term. Kind of, I've been paying attention to the local, local, he's in Washington, the Pacific Northwest Weather Watch guy. And pretty much it just said like wet, which, is rain, but can also be snow. I do wonder if how much we're going to get this year, this time last year, we've already had, I think it was already, I think we already had that big, big, big storm that like flooded out behind the house. I have French drain in now, so I'm happy about that. Um, Steve, language. Oh, yeah. Um, so that is, I'm excited to have the French drain. I'm excited to see it in action, and I really want it to rain enough that I can see it in action. Verna says it killed the Malabar spinach, so the berries didn't get ripe. So you didn't get any? You didn't have any seeds drop? I bet you had seeds drop that you didn't see. Because did it get to the little pink fruit? Were they pink at all? I bet you're gonna have more. That thing just does. It definitely grows forever. um, I would have thought that it would have seeded before, like in the summertime, as well. Yeah, Malabar spinach. Do you have the red stem or the green stem? I don't remember. Okay, the berries were green. Maybe not then. It's true. In a pot, things die quicker. True, true. Well, it's easy to start. It's super easy to start. Malabar spinach, for those that don't know, um, you eat the leaf. Depending on who you listen to, you can eat the fruit. um, and it is mucilaginous, and so I guess it's good for like thickening soups and stuff like that. But it is mucilaginous, and um, yeah, it comes back with a vengeance every year. At least it did where I was, and it did freeze there, but it would drop seeds before then. So yeah. Anime says, "Oh, I hear an egg song, a very loud song. I'm gonna go check on them. Egg songs are so sweet." Verna says, "I need to find my moringa seeds. I have them somewhere. I thought I knew where. Um, Moringa is a really, really good thing to grow, but excuse me, but you either have to grow inside or take it inside or accept it as an annual in colder climates. In the Bay Area, California, I had trees that they just died. The root rot got to them, I think. They can get root rot very easily, and they do die back to the ground in areas that freeze, but they will come up again if the roots can stay alive in that area. As far as where Verna is in the Midwest, that might be a little tougher. So yeah, you can grow them as an annual greens. Yeah. Mucilaginous. Steve's doing a look it up. Adjective, sticky, viscid, of relating to, full of, secreting mucilage. There you go. Yeah, grow them in a pot like herbs. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I had plans to grow them in a wine barrel, like in a 3/4 wine barrel, when I was in California, and then put it on rollers and roll it into the screen and porch and out. And I just never planted it. I never planted it there. I was going to, like, okay, this is going to happen, and then it didn't. Yeah, that did not sound edible. Steve, if you've ever had okra, and you know that slimy slime slimy slime. That's mucilaginous. That's so yeah. Depending on who you are, you mind it or you don't. I like fried okra when it doesn't have the mucilaginous stuff. Mallow, the common mallow that has mucilaginous stuff. Marshmallow, the plant, not the s'mores, the ingredient. Marshmallow has a very high amount of that. Mucilaginous plants are very good for like coating your throat. So like the tea that's called throat coat, they use slippery elm for that, but it's that coats the throat is the mucilaginous. So for sore throats, yeah. Verna says I'm going to get another 5-gallon bucket for sweet taters next year. Awesome. Yes, Steve, you and I are like in this. Steve says I will not eat slimy okra, fried or raw or grilled, but not slimy. Yeah, some people eat it right off the plant. I am not one of those people. Yeah. But I want to try okra again. I failed several times at okra in Gilroy. It wasn't a complete failure, but it was like, okay, why did I grow this for just a few pods? And I just assumed that humidity was not high enough. Um, but I know someone here that has had success with okra, and um, I really like fried okra or grilled okra is good too. But yeah, with the slimy slime, no, thank you. I'm with you there. Some people like it. It is good for you, but Christina's chiming in. I cannot with okra. Verna says if it is under 4 inches and fresh picked, it is good and not slimy. All right. I will let you keep all of those ones. And I will cook mine. Yeah. What else has that mucilaginous stuff? So what did I say? I said the Malabar spinach, the mallows, and the marshmallow. Slippery elm has something that's mucilaginous. What else has mucilaginous stuff? Because it is good medicinally. Yeah. Right. So Steve says okra thrives in hot and humid climates. So I am not as dry here as where I used to live, but it's still not humid, which I am thankful of. Yeah. So Guidro's family farm is Christina, and Aaron is on here as I forget what, something else. The one that starts with A. That question was from Desiree. And Desiree says our 15-year-old dog is starting to go blind. Gotta potty train him to pee pad soon. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Yeah, marshmallow root. Yeah. So those who don't know, Christina, who is under the name Guidro's Family Farm right now, she knows a lot of herbal stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you can use marshmallow pods. You can use the leaves. Any mallow will have some mucilaginous. Okay, so licorice root too. Okay. All right, Aaron, you have a message from Desiree. She wants to know if you got it. Licorice would be awesome to grow. Awesome. When I do the high tunnel, I want to grow a lot of different things. And I had a tree. It failed very early on, or so early that I believe was a shipping thing. And I have a credit with some place somewhere that says they're going to send me a new one, and I don't remember who it was. For cinnamon. Cinnamon, that'll grow in a high tunnel, I think. I want to do cinnamon. I would love to do cloves. I don't know if I can unless it's like a heated thing. Where the Guide roses are, you guys can grow cloves, I bet. That would be a really cool thing to grow. It's a tree. The cloves are a bud of a flower on a tree. So that'd be cool. Okay, Steve says okra, aloe vera. That's another one. If you're interested in aloe vera, I do have a video for aloe vera and how to appropriately get cut up the leaf and stuff, because there is some stuff in there that you want to get out of it before you consume or before you use it on your skin. So watch that video if you're looking at using aloe vera from a plant. Seaweed, yep, and slippery elm, chia seeds and flax seeds in water. Christina with a K. Is that what you're asking? Yeah. You may be at the tritium limit. There's no such thing, Christina. No such thing. Cloves? You could provide cloves for the whole state of Louisiana. Eventually. I don't know how fast the tree grows. It's like a zone 10, but you guys are zone 9, right? But you really are zone 10. What zone are you? When we're talking about zones, we're talking about planting zones. Yeah. Because aside from your super snowstorm last year, yep, just like that, and anime. You're okay. 9. I thought you were the same as where I was, but you get much hotter and less cold than where I was. You could totally do that and just protect it in your 3 weeks of winter. Thank you for the link, Steve. Aloe vera. And Verna. All right. Yeah. And aloe is really good it's really good. I need to bring my aloe inside. I wonder if it's still alive. We had a little frost. I just thought about that. Aloe is really, really, really good for you. I don't take it internally. Lots of people do. But it's really good to have on hand for burns or like sunburns. And you just follow the instructions in my video, cut it up after that, shove it in a jar, put it in the refrigerator, and it will last a very, 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 very long time. Yeah. Steve saying bad words. Question for Christina. Have you ever heard of a woolly silky? That's from Desiree. When Aaron gets snow, it goes in the attic. Oh, Berna. You guys are funny. A woolly silky. That sounds like a miniature sheep who also lays eggs. Woolly silky. I don't know about that. I'm not saying silkies are bad. I'm just not versed in silkies because they're not something I plan to have. Silky, what Desiree is talking about is a tiny chicken, basically. And they're usually very funnily feathered, fluffy feathers. Okay, so Christina's answer is I've heard of the term, but I'm almost positive it's the same as a sizzle. I think sizzle is a better word. A sizzle silky? Is that what you call them? It's a sizzle silky? Can you say that faster? A woolly silky is a silky with a perm. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I just have my 2 chickens. My 2 chickens. I had 3. Rexy passed. They Overaptor, I think, is done laying eggs, and Smilo. She laid several this year, but not nearly. It wasn't nearly every day. Yeah. Oh, you don't call them sizzle silkies? What a missed opportunity, Christina. Sizzle silkies. Anyway. Okay. Verna has a definition. Woolly silky chicken is a fluffy looking chicken, often a result of crossing a silky with a frizzle chicken, or a specific type of frizzle-like chicken. They are prized for their soft fur-like plumage, docile nature, and decorative appeal. Similar to the standard silky chicken, but with even more texture. Oh, Desert says it's curly, feathered, silky project that isn't well known, and it's not a sizzle. Okay. Okay. Sizzle, fizzle. Yeah. There we go. Oh, you guys are funny. Who names these things? Who names these things? Yeah. Well, Oviraptor is a Buff Orpington, and Rexy was, and Smilo is a Barred Rock. Both of them are good types of chickens. Oviraptor, when she was still laying, she would go broody on nothing, and I kind of got her because Orpingtons are known to go broody. She did hatch out 2 quail for me, which I think her sisters must have eaten. I don't know. I found 2 unzipped shells, and the rest of them I put in 10 under her. The rest of them were squashed, so pretty early on, I think. Um, but yeah, she did hatch. So she was mama for I don't know how many minutes before. I don't know if she ate them or her sisters ate them. I'm blaming it on their sisters, but yeah. Um, yep. Verna says breeders tend to be namers. Yep. And Christina says, I'd have to see the bird in question. I have all the feather types here, and there isn't any other that I can think of. Awesome. So you have quite the collection, huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. C says, without a doubt, do you know what the absolutely best chicken is? Fried chicken. I thought you were going to say soup for the soul. Fried chicken's pretty good. Pretty good. As long as it's cooked through. Yeah. Well, yeah, silkies, huh? Sizzles. Sizzle silky. Sizzle frizzle silky. Oh my goodness. So, all right. I want to know what you guys are wanting more videos of. Just so I know what you guys want more videos of. Um, Tomorrow's video is going to be a hey, it's been 4 years. Thank you, video. Thank you guys. Thursday's video is going to be bunny breeding. And then next week we're going to get back into camera traps for a little bit, and then we may go in and out. There's at least 2 camera trapper wildlife cameras videos that I want to do within that specialized here's how to do it video. And then at some point we're going to see some pictures of stuff from those cameras. I went through them yesterday, and pretty cool. Christina said I'm trying to catch up with the number of quail. Uh-huh. Oh, as many silky types as Aaron has quail types? Okay. All right, infrastructure videos. Steve already said that earlier. He's saying it again. He's unanimous in that. I don't know that one person can be unanimous. I mean, I guess that's all they can be, right? How many people does it take to have a unanimous vote? If one person's voting, it's a unanimous vote. I love that. All right. So there's going to be fencing stuff. There's going to be food forest stuff, and then fencing stuff. It's going to be a lot of You asked for it. You're getting a lot of fencing stuff. Rabbit tractors. That's what's for sure going to happen this year. Is fencing stuff and rabbit tractors. Hopefully, high tunnel will be on the list, and we'll see what happens from there. Yeah. All right. Steve says, stolen from Are You Being Served, Mrs. Slocum? I don't know that. I don't know that reference. Abella says, it is cool to see experiments with two groups, control and variable. That is good. That is good. I think I might be able to work some stuff in that's experimental. Experimental. Okay. Okay. Steve says, I watched Sow the Land fence 7 acres. I can handle it. So does that mean you're going to come help me? He did a lot of fencing. Did he do it all in 1 year? I don't remember when he started, but yeah, I think he did it like all in one summer or something. Tons. Yeah. I'm not, well, I'm doing a lot, but not as much as he is. um Yeah, so Bella says you could also do an experiment with pasture rabbits versus pellet only or pellet and hay. Yeah, so I know I'm going to be using the pasture because I already know based on this year's data, I guess it would be. But this year's rabbits that went onto pasture, um, they I didn't weigh them before I processed them, but they didn't feel any different than what I'm used to. Um, and they were getting the nutrition and they were eating down the pasture and all that. Something I'm looking forward to, which is more of a tracking, not necessarily an experiment, is tracking how the pasture does with when the rabbits are leaving their little deposits of nutrition. Um, yeah, but maybe I'll do that with the last litter of the year. Um, is leave them with mom and see what they do through that the last litter of the year. um Remind me later in the what is it, remind me next spring. um I can do that. Yeah. Versus you have two does pregnant, will be a good time to raise one set in cages and other set on tractors, except I'm not going to do that because I don't have another grow out space for them. I don't have another place to put them, so they would be with mom all 12 weeks, which takes up a lot of, you can breed more rabbits, you can have more babies in that time. So if I had a grow out, I could do that. I feel like I've already done that with at least the pellets only, but yeah, let me think on that, on how I can do that, because there's different areas of the pasture too, and I do have to think about winter right now because I don't want to go super far, down. Let's give Katrina homework, right? Exactly. No, thinking about these things is totally valid and totally good because they're stuff I want to find out and do. You want to find out how to do things best, and one of the great ways of doing that is to do an experiment or ask someone to do one for you. Um, but yeah, so I was thinking about like, so the hayfield right now hasn't been grazed in 2 years and it needs to be grazed down. It's not really going to be grazed down by rabbits at this point. I was thinking I could put, one in the pasture and one in the hayfield, but if we get the rain that we got last year, I'm not putting anything in the hayfield because it was wet, it was flowing, like there was another creek basically. So that might be something for in the spring to try, because there are different types of grasses, and I don't actually know the type of grass in the hayfield. Um, but they're different types of grasses. Um, Yeah, I don't want to commit to this, but I do want to get some sort of grazing animal into the hayfield at some point, hopefully this year, maybe this year meaning like a year from now, not this year as in the next month and a half. Um, and just have it mowed down. So whether that's borrowing a neighbor's couple of cows or something, I don't know. We do have a mountain lion in the area and a hungry bear in the area, that people have been getting on the cameras. So I don't really want to be responsible for someone else's livestock. And if I get a guard animal like a llama, then I would want to make sure I have something there for it to guard or to be with, not just out there lonely when there aren't any grazing animals. So things to think about. Things to think about. Um, let's see. Steve's talking about Sow the Land. He did most of it in one winter and finished the next winter. That's right. That's right. So he was kept on saying, "Oh, no one's going to watch this," and it's like, well, it is hard to make things interesting sometimes when you keep doing it over and over again. But that might be what you better caution what you wish for there, Steve. Um, Abella says, "I hope you restart quail soon. Though I have heard you say you need to build infrastructure." So yeah, the infrastructure that I want to do, I'll give you I give you a clearer picture of why this hasn't happened yet. Yes, I could build something temporary, and yes, it would be there forever. That's the danger of building temporary structures, is they end up being the permanent structure. I don't want that to happen. I want to be smart with my animals and only expand when I have an appropriate home for them. But what I want to do is there's a spot up on the hill right behind me. Actually, I could point to it if it wasn't so dark. Hey, I'm pointing to it. Up the hill here, that it is a slope, so it would need earthwork to bring it down and cut out an area for a high tunnel. And that high tunnel would act like a huge. So there's two possibilities, and this was where some experimentation might happen. Uh, it might be a this then that, or it might try some different things in there. But for it would basically be either a big aviary or a small aviary built within the bigger area. And there's reasons to do both of those. Um, but I would do this large, tall structure because I want to have quail in there, but then also raise um, like foods that it's too cold to raise here, like, or we're on the edge of. Like, I'm pretty sure I could probably grow carabella, which is, did I say that right? Star fruit. I'm pretty sure I could grow that. Curry leaf tree should be able to grow there. Maybe moringa. Again, I'm thinking about different things with using geothermal. Um, some citrus that are not as cold hardy as outside. I don't really want to like heat it. I want to be able to do something passive. And I've recently been told that one of my neighbors has a really cool setup, in a pool, like it's not water anymore. And so that might be something, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research than I thought I was going to do that. I know I don't need a permit unless unless it's heated, unless it's temperature controlled, and I don't think geothermal counts toward that, which is interesting. Permitting is so different here, but they all the inspectors for the county have been here so far, and I've told every single one of them, if you see something that needs, if you see me doing something that I need a permit for, let me know, because I'm going to be asking you, and if I don't ask, then I didn't know. So they're all on board with that. They know I'm going to ask. So yeah, weird things don't need permits here, like redoing a roof. Didn't need a permit. But so that's not. Anyway, it's an area that I picture putting two high tunnels, and one of them would have quail in it and one of them would not, and one of them would have things like the trees and shrubs that you wouldn't necessarily be able to plant outdoors here without extra protection. And then the other one would be a season extension one where it may or may not um, have that geothermal, but it would be like you can have tomatoes longer, and you can have this longer and that longer, and that's kind of more of a if I get into selling produce more, then that can be more of a managed system, whereas a food forest will have the elements of pretty much all of that. Probably won't put tomatoes in the food forest, um but maybe until I get that one up, right? But I want to be able to have these places and spaces available to grow more things, not just for me, but for hopefully getting into selling and sharing and all that. So yeah, the aviary slash greenhouse slash, not really greenhouse, but high tunnel, that's my idea. So if I have the quail in there loose, then that's fine. That's good. I may have a double door. Um, I also, and it would be wood chips on the bottom, and it would be treated like an indoor food forest that happens to have quail in it. So that's the ideal. If the ideal doesn't happen, I may build an aviary within that space and seed it with worms so that the worms can move the compost amongst amongst that space back and forth, um, so that instead of shoveling compost, you're just adding chips to that area, and then the worms will move it. So it's similar to like a keyhole garden where you have the circle of either leaves or compost makings, and then the worms come into that, and then they bring it out and then poop, because really that's what you're going after is worm poop, right? So, and do that, and then what I would do in addition to that, I would have a male grow out area in the food forest, which is over here, not up there. Hopefully far enough away that they're not loud. I know someone who knows someone who has only male quail, because he takes them from other people and then grows them out. And because there are not any female, he has very quiet males, because there's no female influence. So that's the plan. That's a big question. That's a big answer. That's a big, big thing to do, especially since it's on a hillside, and especially since I want to do geothermal, and especially since that involves more than a shovel to do. I do know someone, the same person who did the leach field and the French drain. He's an actual operator. Like he had used to be like an actual operator of a big machinery. So um, I talked to him briefly about that, and he's like, "Yeah, let us know what you want to do. We can do it." And so that way, I'm not just out there with a tractor scoop, right? It's. I mean, he doesn't have the big stuff, but um, anyway, so there's possibilities there. Another infrastructure thing that needs to happen at some point. It's lower on the order of operations, but it probably needs to be tended to, is the road going up the hill needs a curtain drain or several, um, which is kind of like a French drain where you do a trench with gravel, and then you have basically the same stuff as here. You can use um, pipes with slits or with holes, wrapped in fabric at the bottom of that trench, and then that directs water off. Because right now I have about that deep chasm in between tire tracks, going up part of the hill. So there's your infrastructure, guys. These are things that will be happening. Will it happen this year? We'll see. We'll see how much time and money we have. Okay, let's go on. But yes, I definitely will have quail again. I love quail, and I want to have them in a more relaxed. I don't want to have them just to have them for a business. Like what Aaron and Christina do is they have this area that is packed with quail, and like they said, it takes 3 of them to do the poop, clean the poop trays in a reasonable manner. Aviaries are so much better than that. I do have a course for aviaries, raising quail in aviaries. Brenna or Steve, if you can find that, it's on my website, sowandtare.com, under the education section. And so that definitely has all the things I've learned already and going into this. Now, couple of reasons why I'm thinking about doing the aviary within the larger context is that I want to grow avocados in there, and avocados are deadly for quail. They will have a heart attack. I know 2 people that lost quail because of this. And citrus, I don't think citrus is as big an issue for them as avocado. I don't think they necessarily go after citrus very much. Somebody else can tell me if that's true or not. I've never offered it to my quail because they're not supposed to have it. But I would have those things in that structured area. Now, whether, they get 1 or 2 avocados and go after it and lose a few birds, whether that matters, enough for the whole system. I would like to not just waste avocado, but I know there are 4 types that can grow here outside of that system, and if you have extra heat, you can grow more types. So 1 would be the safety of the birds. 2 would be having the opening, be able to open it and move stuff in and out at a better rate, basically. And that can be done by either having a double door system or having them not near the door. If you're by your birds and you're with your birds and they know you and you know them, they're not going to flush very much. If there's a predator around or they sense something else going on, then maybe, but they're not going to freak out very much. In my experience, if you talk to them, you tell them you're coming ahead of when you're coming, they know you know them. You don't get that panic flying, so I don't anticipate that being a problem, but I still might do double door anyway. And then I of course would do, outside of all of that, there would be electric fence because we do have things like bear. Yeah. Okay. Remind me in March. There we go. Verna says, like the experiment I did with quail. Oh, your long-term experiment? Was that the one you're talking about? Steve says you can do partial, weighing each up to a period of time. Maybe. Yeah. Steve says, should I send you some goats like I did for Aaron? I am not ready for goats. I thought I was going to be ready for goats last spring. I am not ready for goats. I need to do some other infrastructure first. And if I get goats, I need to get a llama or a donkey or probably not a goose. What other guard animals do you guys know? I'm not a guard dog, probably. I don't want constant barking. Dog, yes. Guard dog, probably not. But neighbor has a llama. I should probably ask him if it's male or female and if it matters for guarding, because they might see each other next to the fence. But that's what I'm thinking is whatever I have out in the pasture, I need to have some protector. My next door neighbor lost 3 of their 5 young goats to a predator, and they got rid of the other 2 because it didn't make sense. They didn't have a protector. So yeah. So I want to make sure I'm responsible with when I do bring animals on. But mini goats, I'm not. I don't think I need them. Aaron might need more. Buy a calf to butcher next fall or so. So I was thinking about that, and I wouldn't just do 1. I would do 2 because they would, grow up together. But yeah, that's a potential. And I know people here that, well, one person I know sold his cows, and then the other person I know, um, yeah, I think his went to auction. The young ones went to auction, but it's a potential. Yeah. Um, Brenna says like the quail body heats up a greenhouse. Yeah. So so that's another part of it. So the quail will add. Okay, there's many different ways to do geothermal. The way that I was thinking about doing it is very similar to, there's a guy in Nebraska that grows citrus. Look up, if you look up Nebraska citrus greenhouse, you'll probably get a very old video at this point. And he made his greenhouse, it's attached to his house, and he has pipe that goes so many feet out and wraps around and then comes back, and that's how many feet it takes to warm the air or cool the air accordingly. And but you can also do that underneath. So if you dig down, you can put pipes underneath, and then you can have one at the lower end and one at the upper end of the structure, and it will cycle the air, and basically make it so that it stays cooler or hotter than the air temperature based on what the ground temperature is. So that's what I'm thinking. Number one. And number two, when you have wood chips on the floor of this, and not like there's a floor and then wood chips, it's just, there. Um, and you have, that's composting, plus you have the quail composting, and then the body heat that adds extra heat. So it's a system. I'm a really, really big fan of having systems that work, having ecology that works, and go from there. So yeah, that's exactly it, Brenna. All right, thank you guys. Let's see, we're getting down the. I talked a lot. We're already 8:12. All right, let's see what else people are saying. Verna's heading out. Awesome. Not awesome that you're heading out, but awesome that you've stayed this long and been awesome. Steve put the workshop, the online courses link there. Thank you. Quill aviary course. Um, Goose is only for chickens and ducks. Yeah, that's why I said probably not goose. for for goats and yeah, that's why I said probably not a goose. Um, Abella says guard donkeys are adorable and pretty easy to keep, they say. Donkeys? Yes, donkeys. Gooses for aerial predators. Yeah, aerial predators, and then I have heard of them. Well, I'll just say who. I don't agree with this guy on many things, but he does know how to raise animals, and that is Joel Salton. And he had an experience where he had chicken tractors that ended up getting got into by a bear at some point, and then they got guard goose, and it stopped happening. So I don't know whether it scared off the bear or the bear was just done or what, but yeah, gooses for aerial predators. So geese are good because they don't sleep their whole brain. They sleep half of their brain at a time, which means they're always somewhat awake. Yeah. Emus are guard animals. Can be raised alone, and you can eat their eggs if you get a female. If you get a male, probably shouldn't eat his eggs. It's not going to get eggs. um, I did not. So emus also would require a higher fence. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't know how high a fence a llama needs or donkey, but yeah, that's guard animals is something I need to look into and um, look into the type and the region I'm in, what might work, and um, and all that. Like I said, I know the neighbor has a llama, and it apparently has done really well. Um, another person down here has a llama as a guard animal. They do very well. I don't think I know anybody with a guard donkey. It might be llamas here, and I need to ask why they chose llama over other things. That's a good question, huh? All right. There we go. Steve put the link growing oranges in Kansas. It's not Kansas. I gotta open up my other window. Uh, that is. I thought I had one looking at the streaming. Okay, live. Live. I gotta go there to find the actual link. Okay. You see what this one is. Yeah, the in Nebraska. Um, but it looks like there's one in Kansas too. Oh no. Why does it say Kansas? Yeah, this is it. Nebraska retiree uses Earth's heat to grow oranges in snow. Yeah, that's it. That's the link. Um, thank you, Steve. Yeah. 5 foot fence for llama or emu. I know it's not 5 feet for next door to my pasture and a hayfield. Yeah. Hey, 340 Quail Farms here. Welcome. You know, I usually end at 8, but I got talking today. So, welcome, welcome. I hope life is treating you well and that you're doing good, Tim. All right. This is 4 years on YouTube. I've been on YouTube 4 years last week. So that is pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, so Steve says Cog Hill only has a 4 foot fence. Yeah, it is Nebraska. I'm like, Kansas, what? It's cold and flat. Same thing. Oh boy. What about mules? um, I don't know. I've never heard about mules being a guard animal, and I don't know why that is, but I don't know. Whatever height the gate is what their fence is. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, guard animals is something that so I've done a lot of learning and I've done a lot of, reading and I've done a lot of YouTubing, um, YouTube universitying, and I haven't really gotten into learning a whole lot about the individuals that would make up a guard animal. So to me, the option I don't really need a horse, I know that. Um, to me, the options would likely be either llama or donkey. And I know that 2 people on this road have llamas, and I know nobody that has a donkey. And so I would like to talk with them and find out why they chose llama over donkey personally, you know, what personal reasons, not personal reasons, but, what specific reasons they might have had for one over the other, because that's local. And if llama is what's working, then llama is what makes sense, maybe. Anyway, llama spit. Um, yeah. Steve says mules can be good guard animals for livestock, but they can also be dangerous to smaller animals like dogs, sheep, goats, and they are only effective if properly trained. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would want to have a good relationship with whatever the guard animal is because they're going to guard, you know. Um, yeah, and plus I like to have a good relationship with my animals, but yeah. Anyway, so that may or may not happen this next year. Um, there's a lot of other things to do, and I don't necessarily need the hayfield hay right now. I do also, so I have my scythe, but I have my Jeep, which will pull whatever haying thing that I need, and I don't yet have the implements that go behind the Jeep, like the implements that would go behind a tractor. I don't yet have any of that. So, like a raker and a baler, I don't have any of that either. So, yeah. And that costs money. So if anybody wants to donate some, I just need small ones. I don't have acres and acres of hay. Um, Steve says llamas are often better for protecting vulnerable newborns and can be effective against smaller predators like foxes, dogs, and coyotes, while donkeys are territorial and are aggressive against dogs. Yeah, and the big predators here are bear and mountain lion. There's also bobcat and coyote, but um, I mean, really, the bear and mountain lion are the ones that are gonna probably do a big number if there was a big animal. Um, yeah. Tim says, I just recently discovered Vulturin. Am I saying that right? Like a vulture? Uh, Guinea fowl. Cool looking and supposedly guard birds. Guinea fowl are guard birds. They act like guard birds, but they're also birds that they decide where they're going to guard. Yeah. I'm going to look it up. Vol. How did you spell that? Vulturin. Guinea fowl. Let's see. Well, it's pretty. It's pretty. Should I share this with people? Do you guys want to see it? Let's see. So there it is. Let's look at images. Boy, that's pretty. Is it like a cassowary? Is that thing a hard thing? I love this picture. Man. Oh, they do the whole raptor Jurassic Park thing. Interesting. Um, I might have to look up more about that. Yeah. A guinea fowl may protect your neighbor's property better than your property. Exactly. So that's yeah. That was the point I was trying to make. Um, Steve says Voltron guinea fowl is common in acacia scrubland from southern Ethiopia and Somalia to Kenya and Tanzania. That sounds drier. Well, acacia. Is Tanzania dry? I think it's dry. Yeah, Tim says very intriguing. I thought. Don't know much about guinea fowl though. Yeah, I don't know much except that apparently they taste good. They have like purple meat. I've not tried it, but apparently they taste good, and they have to be extra trained to an area if they're going to not just disperse into the world. And they do protect an area. They eat a lot of ticks. They're on tick patrol a lot. Yeah, ask PJ about guinea fowl. Yeah, exactly, Steve. We talked about guinea fowl as a specific topic one of these times. I used to keep track of the topics, and I haven't for a while, so sorry. um, yeah, but we talked about guinea fowl quite in depth one time. I think it was when I was still at my other place. Was it? Anybody remember that conversation? Um, did Erica have them too? Maybe? I don't remember. Too many topics to keep track of. Exactly. I typically have a topic that I bring up, and I this time it was just 4 years, on YouTube, which is 4 years on YouTube is pretty good. But I used to keep track of the topic for each time in case I wanted to reference it, and I probably should again, but I haven't in a while. So anyway, yeah, and we always go, on tons of different topics, so that's fine. Vern is back. How's Lucy doing? How's Lucy doing? I know we're still here talking. Yeah. I mean, Bella got me excited about quail, and Tim's here talking about vulture and guinea fowl. Exciting stuff. Um, she's happy with her dental treat. For those that don't know, Lucy is a dog. Um, yeah, yeah, that's good. Um, dental treat. Yeah. So infrastructure is where it's at, and infrastructure is going to be coming up here. I think the first thing for infrastructure is either going to be rabbit tractors, or maybe more likely the fencing for the garden and the rabbit slash quail, not quail, rabbit slash chicken area. Um, yeah, that's that. Those two things are definitely going to be the first ones. Um, I want to have the garden fence before the next growing season, next summer garden season. Um, and I want to have these guys fenced as soon as possible, but I also have to call the county and ask if I can put a roof on an already. I know I can replace fencing with fencing. I don't need a permit for that. I know what I can do for that. I know how high, I know how big, and all that stuff. What I don't know is if I can put a roof over that fencing. If that counts as like a structure, or if I just need to extend the fencing from the hutches that the rabbits are on. I need to figure that out before I do design stuff. But um, it's one or the other, and I don't need to roof the whole thing. It's just easiest to do that for predators. Otherwise, it's going to be wire going over the top as well, which will be fine. But I already have ideas of how to seal things along the trees because there's trees in this. So yeah, interesting things going on. But yeah, Steve, you'll get your wish for sure. If not, go back and rewatch the building things playlist. There's tons of stuff in there. Tons of stuff in the building. Do I even have the playlist thing open anymore? I don't know that I do. Yeah, building things. Let's see. Building things playlist. Oh, it doesn't want me to say playlist. Okay, apparently you can't search for a playlist. I was gonna see how many videos was in it. Maybe I still can. There's only 39 of them. I can go through them. Um, building things, 44. There's 44 videos in the building things playlist. So if you need a building things fix, there you go. There you go. There goes Rena with her special language. Your abbreviation queen. We need to find there. Is there an abbreviation for abbreviation queen? Because you need a T-shirt that says that, like ABQN. Hopefully, it doesn't spell anything bad. Yes, I know. Long time no see. I got it. I got it. Oh, you got the playlist? Yeah. All right, we are coming up on 8:30. I still need to put together the Cook With Me Live, uh, what's it called? Ingredient list, and put that out tonight. And then there's not going to be much editing, but editing the video for tomorrow. So I'm feeling like we'll give a couple minutes, see if anybody has any questions or comments. and then we'll hang it up for the evening. The building playlist is a link that Steve put on there. Awesome, thank you, thank you. I didn't realize there was that many of them, but there's a lot. So there should be stuff in there. The boot brush is in there. Um, a couple of the boot. There's a couple different boot brushes in there. Building a boot brush. Doing the. Yep. Doing the rabbit. Yeah, rabbit nest boxes, quill, sand baths, aviary stuff. I think there's one on how I did the chicken coop. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. All right. Steve put a link there to join Cook With Me Live at the link there, and that is on next Sunday, which is the 23rd. We are doing pumpkin pie, and we are doing challah, which is a saffron braided bread. I'm going to make it into rolls, though. Hopefully, braided rolls. I'm going to figure it out. And that will be at 12:30. That's noon 30 next Sunday. So if you want to join us for that, you can click the link that Steve put there, or there's a link in any of the videos in the description. There we go. Okay. Desiree had a question. Does anybody else have silkies on here? I do not. Does anybody else have silkies? I don't think so. Because if Christina is not here anymore, who else is on here? Tim, do you have silkies? I don't know if you have silkies. I don't think you do, right? It looks like nobody's jumping, so probably not. Ask your question. Maybe we'll know. Or are you looking for like specific things about silkies? All the silky people are gone. Oh, what genders your silkies are? I don't know. Yeah, they probably have more poop trays to do, huh, Steve? All right. Well, I'm guessing you're gonna have to vent sex them or wait until one has a comb. How old are they? Not a comb, but like you know, how males are bigger there. But I don't know silkies specifically. Thanks, Steve. All right, Abella had silkies a long time ago. Abella, can you tell Anime how to tell if she has boys or girls of a silky, or is it okay? They're notoriously hard to sex. Okay, that's the answer. That's the answer. If it lays an egg, it's a female. um. All right. Well, there is your answer, Desiree. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for being on here. Thank you guys for coming on and enjoying these anniversary, 4-year anniversary. And 3 weeks old is going to be probably hard to know what those are, Desiree. I think you have time to ask um, the Guidroses, or mostly Christina. Ask Christina. Oh yeah, Matt has silkies. Yeah, you can't tell Matt's silky rooster from his silky hens. Looking forward to new videos. Good. Yeah, so Steve, can you put up Matt's channel link for Desiree? I don't know if she knows it or not. But other people should know it too. Matt is in New Mexico and it's Grafted Ranch Homestead, and he has silkies, so he would be able to tell you about that too. And he does lives. Do both of them do Sundays now? Matt's lives has been a little bit sporadic. I think they both do Sunday now. Gidros and Matt. Somebody can tell me different. Okay. Okay. So Anime has some different shaped combs on hers. And Steve is Googling, you can sex a silky chicken with a good degree of accuracy around 12 weeks old by looking for physical differences like comb size and streamers. I think that's this, right? But the most reliable method is to wait until they're 4 to 6 months. There you go. Thank you, Verna, for Grafted Branch link there. He has some pretty cool stuff. Recommend checking him out. Um, okay, Matt is 10 a.m. Sunday. Aaron is 6 p.m. Okay, Sunday. That's right. Awesome. Thank you. Those are central times. Yeah, we always have to check which time it is, right? Yeah. All right. So Desiree, I think it's going to be best for you is to check in with um, either Matt or Christina and talk with them. I think they're both on Friends of Sow and Tare. Maybe I know Christina is. You can ask maybe post your pictures there and tag them. I think Matt's on there. I know Christina is. Um, and ask that question there and see if they have an answer. Yeah, that's cool. If you guys haven't joined the Facebook group, Friends of Sow and Tare, Facebook, yeah. So that's how I know that she's on there. Steve, Christina is a moderator on the Facebook group. Yep. Yeah, Verna says comb and eventually will lay eggs. Oh, I forgot to read the first part of that. Roosters generally have larger combs, wattles, more pointed hackle feathers, and may grow long streamer tail. Oh, the streamers are tail feathers. Okay. Eventually crow. Hens often have a smaller crest, smaller comb, and will eventually lay eggs. Yep. 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 Yeah, Desiree, go ahead and put that in the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. Thank you for putting that link up there, Steve, for the Facebook group. If you guys are new to that and you go to join, make sure you answer the question and click I agree or write I agree or however they do it. Otherwise, we don't want to let you in. And yeah, so if you guys have questions that come up about different things, or you're proud of something that you grew, or something like that, I mean, put it on the Facebook group and let people see it. So yeah. Yeah, so Steve has a good point there. So tag Christina um, in there when you post in the group. And I don't remember if Matt's in there, but I think he is. You might tag him too. Um, cool. All right. Have a good night, Verna. I'm glad you're feeling better and rest, rest, rest. Yes. I hope you have a pair too, Desiree. All right, guys. It is nighttime. Time to rest and do more typing for me. So I will see you guys next Sunday for the Cook With Me Live, or next Monday, next Monday for the next live chat. So 6 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. And if you're going to cook with us, we're doing pumpkin pie and saffron bread. And that will be on Sunday. And that's members only. So join the link in the description to join at 12:30. That's noon 30 on Sunday. So hope to see you there, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for Verna and for Steve for moderating. You guys are awesome, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming, guys. Have a good night.